One. Hello again, listeners, and welcome back to the Kotu Classic FPL podcast. I'm your host, Bruce, and as usual, my co-host Chama. Nakam, it's been a while, boy.
Boy, it's been a long time, man. Getting your Diego.
I know, Bilal, man. Boy, lad.
Apparently, I've been doing so badly. Liverpool have been doing so badly. So maybe that's kind of the reason. But
You,
of course, that's just that's not the excuse. But yeah, because time, boy, time these days is difficult to find.
yeah,
Conducive time to be recording podcasts and all those kind
that's
of
true.
things.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's been
you never know.
difficult.
It might be the reason why Liverpool are doing so poorly. It's because we are not been recording as frequently
Perhaps,
as before.
perhaps, perhaps. I hope that is the case because if it means like we recorded this week, then that Liverpool will turn a
Then you
corner.
guys will win.
Yeah,
I
we
know,
start
right?
winning again. But yeah, their
Yeah.
season has been the similar story of my FPS season though. But yeah, it is what it is. But how are you doing, man?
But I'm doing okay, man. But I think it might be turning because you guys, like we'll talk about in the fan corner for, briefly. You guys have a few players back from injury, so it's a major boost for you guys. So let's see how it
Yeah,
pans
some
out.
important players are coming back, and
Yeah,
some are expected to come back very soon too. So yeah, in terms of injury, we are looking okay. Like in terms of returnees, but generally we will wait and see because those players were there. Players like Van Dijk, they were there when we are bad. So I don't know what will that change, anyways. But you, on the other
mm.
hand, you are doing very well in the FPL. You have been the light of the Kotu Classic podcast. I'm so disappointed that we have not been recording regularly.
I
To to
know,
to
right?
to to speak up about yeah, definitely. To be honest.
Honestly, I've not been doing anything. This has been my most chill FPL season since I started taking it seriously. I haven't been really like okay planning and stuff like that. It's just okay. Let me see what my team looks like. Listen to a few other podcasts there, like Andy and some other guys, and then just try to see if just simple, nothing difficult about it for me this season. It's like everything that I do seems to come off. It's one of those seasons that you have. So like you last season, something like
Yeah.
that.
Yeah,
Yeah,
similar. But yeah, long may it continue, and hopefully you will crack into the top 100K, like I always tell you. And I think even
that that
more
is
than that, you can target
that's
even
my
higher
that's
than that
my
because you are
goal.
in a very good position going into the
Yeah.
final few game week or final. We are in the second half of the season, of course, not in the
Hmm.
final few game weeks, but you have all your chips in the back pocket, most of them, so you should be in good stead going forward, right?
Hopefully, let's see how it goes, man. Okay, so we're recording Double Game Week 23 preview. First things first, let's just jump into some of the recap, the results. I think we've missed a few, but let's just randomly pick some teams and see if we can discuss them. Shocking one for me. Last week, Everton they fired Lampard, obviously, and they brought in is it Sean Dice? Dice?
Yeah, Daishi.
Dicey. Oh, okay, so new manager bounce.
Definitely,
I mean,
definitely.
Everton won. They beat Arsenal at home
Yeah.
1-0. So it's like that solid defensive display that we are used to of old. Now FPL is different. I mean, the Premier League is different, where each team wants to play football. Pass on the back. Build up. But this one, it was like a demolition job. Just go defend, score one goal, and go and defend again.
Typical Daisy. I watched his video on Coach's Voice where he was talking about his tactics and stuff like that. Yeah, he
Hmm.
does not even he's not shy about the way he likes to play because he knows the quality of players he have, and that's the mistake that Lampard made at Everton. He wanted to come
Mm.
and impose his own tactic. This is the way I want to play, so the players has to adapt. It's not about that. It's about the players you have. How can I get the
And
best out
what
of the
you can do
players?
with,
And that is
yeah,
what
exactly.
Dice did, and they well deserved their win against Arsenal.
Mm.
Nobody can say that Arsenal deserve anything in that game. Everton were the better team and they won.
Mm. Definitely. I think we need those kind of coaches. Like a coach, I believe, is somebody who's supposed to look at the players that you have and see how you can change them into, what fits best to
Yeah,
their strength.
into a winning team.
Same with
Exactly.
Ten Hag came in the first 2 weeks, we were hammered like 4-0, and he realized that okay, the players that have cannot play from the back. So
Yeah,
what they started doing is giving long balls from the back, and then we start winning. And then
yeah,
afterwards, gradually integrate them into your type of strategy, which works. That's what a good coach does.
yeah.
But yeah, any other result that shocked you in this list?
Well, I can say Liverpool, but it's not a shocking result to be honest.
It's not a shocking result, yeah, honestly.
Like of course 3-0 3-0 against Wolves should not be something that you will expect against Liverpool, like at the start of the season or stuff like that. But in the context of the stage of our season, I think that was not surprising. I watched the game,
Mm,
and funnily, like we were terrible in the first 20 minutes, but after that we played very well, and then they scored on the counter attack. I was pretty impressed with what
mm,
I saw after they scored their first two goals, to
mm,
be honest. But why can't we start like that? That was my big question. Why
yeah.
can't we start the game like we played after we conceded two goals? But yeah, it is Liverpool season so
Why
far.
wait? Yeah.
Yeah,
Why
and
wait till when you
we are
consider
really
to get a
underperforming.
reaction?
The coach is
Mm.
underperforming. The players are underperforming. So for me, yeah, they have to look at themselves in that way. The coach and the players, because they are much better than what we are seeing right now.
Yeah, I kind of feel like you know, it's funny when you look at the stats, the expected goals and all these things. Your players are still there, like the Salahs and the Darwin Núñez. So I don't understand what's going on.
Especially
Like
Darwin,
some
of
kind of
course. Especially Darwin,
yeah,
but Salah has dropped a little bit in terms of
he's dropped.
his
Okay.
involvement a little bit. Um, I think prior to that game, he had gone 3 games with only 3 shots, and all 3 shots were off target. So, which is usually not Salah. We know him as a player who would
Mhm.
take a lot of volume of shots and miss
And
us
then score
miss
more
some
too.
chances and then score from those ones. But he's not having those
Hmm.
chances that he used to have, especially since the World Cup, since after the World Cup. Before the World Cup, it was not the case, but since after the World Cup, it has been quite something. Yeah, and it is worrying for if you are a Liverpool fan. I hope we can find a solution to that.
Hmm. I think it was a double gaming for us for Man U and Leeds.
And Man City, right?
So first, Man City.
Yeah,
They,
Man City,
they
Man
they
U.
had a they had a double gaming, Man City.
Oh, Man City. This is a
Ah,
double game. Oh, sorry. Yeah,
this year, the 23 is going to be the double for them and
yeah.
Arsenal. Yeah, so it was us and Leeds. So a lot of people were jumping on Man U assets and forgot about Leeds. But Leeds lost their first game to Nottingham Forest
Then
at
sack their
home.
manager.
I mean away, and then sacked Jason March. I think it was a bit harsh, man, because the guy was building something. It's not like their performance was bad. It's just the results that they needed. That was the thing. So I
Yeah,
don't know
I,
what
I
happened, but
I think the tipping point there was the Nottingham Forest. They played really badly against Nottingham Forest. That was the first leg of the double
okay,
game week, and Match was
okay.
already on the chopping block before the World Cup, and then all of a sudden he had
Oh
a
yeah,
couple
you
of
turned it around.
he
Yeah,
turned it
yeah. I
around
think
when he
yeah.
won against Liverpool at Anfield, and
Okay, okay.
and then in the summer in the transfer window they brought his players. They brought American players
Yeah, that's why I'm
because like
surprised. Yeah, like if
usually
they,
Leeds would not.
yeah,
Yeah, so they built
if
the
you're gonna
team for
fire a
him,
manager,
and then
you don't back him in the transfer window, so it
yeah,
doesn't
that
make
was so
any sense,
strange,
right?
right?
Yeah, it's strange, man. But I mean, it is what it is.
But
So
it was a good game
I mean,
against
they
you
have
guys, though. The second leg, yeah. I watched the game, and
it's Leeds. Yeah,
yeah,
I didn't watch the game to be honest, but I was surprised that we started very slowly because all the two goals came in right after the kickoff. Like it doesn't make any
yeah,
sense.
first half and second half,
Were
yeah,
we sleeping? What's happening? But I feel like for us, the major difference, like everybody can tell, is Casemiro. If
definitely,
he's not in the team, like our midfield is a mess. So we
yeah,
need to invest in the summer, like either get a backup for him or get like really good defensive, solid players. And players like all these McTominay and Fred, they need to go, man. It's time. I don't need to be harsh or anything, but we need the team to level up now. And everywhere else is performing except the midfield. And if you remove one player from that midfield, it goes back to 3 years ago where it was very mediocre. So we don't need that.
yeah, definitely. But
They're
Leeds,
trying to
speaking
compete.
of Leeds, I think they were pretty impressive. Nonto,
Yeah, they were impressive.
Nonto was very, very impressive. He scored the first goal, and he was a menace for Man United the whole game.
Mm.
That short guy, tough guy. He was going direct at Dallo and stuff like that. And yeah, he was very impressive. I think player managers were getting him ahead of the double. I think he was
Hmm.
one of the popular players from Leeds, and he
Yeah,
proved to
yeah.
be a very decent, scope for those who got him. But yeah,
Hmm.
Tottenham too.
And
The last
finally,
final
yeah,
big game, yeah.
finally, Harry Kane is like it's now the top scorer in Tottenham history, right? He's not the highest
Yeah, I think he beat
goal scorer.
someone. It was Grief. I don't know. I'm not sure about I'm not
Yeah.
I don't know much about Tottenham, but yeah, I think he's now the outright top scorer, and also he joined the 200 club in the Premier League.
Mm.
I think
Wow.
only two players are
200
in the
goals.
200 club, which is
Rooney.
Rooney and Alan Shearer.
Rooney is
Alan
one
Shearer
of
is at the
them.
top with
Sure. Okay.
267. So of course Harry Kane has
Okay.
his side on that 267
Yeah,
goals.
he can definitely break it.
Yeah, in
Yeah,
2-3 seasons he can
that's
get
for
that.
sure.
To be honest, yeah.
But it also depends what happens with his future. If he wants to break the goal scoring record, you know, and win trophies, I think he's gonna have to choose one.
Yeah.
Maybe he can get both. You never know. But if right now Tottenham are saying they don't want him to move in the summer, they want to keep him because they want to challenge for trophies. I don't see them winning enough trophies in the next few
They are
years.
too
It's
sporty,
just
right?
the way it is. Like that, they don't invest much. They have their limit to how much like how much they invest in players. So I don't know. Unless he moves to a top four side right now, all the top teams have their own strikers. I don't think they will invest more. Maybe Chelsea. You never know. Man, you want him, but
Chelsea
I
and
don't.
Man United, I think those two teams are particularly interesting because both teams are struggling for a proper number nine.
Striker.
Man United now they
Hmm.
have what is his name? Weghorst, who is like a like temporal fix. Of
A
course, you
lone
wanna
player,
replace him.
yeah.
And Chelsea, as
Hmm.
we know, they have Aubameyang, who is now being discussed to move to US. They have been signing a lot of players, but they have not addressed their attacking options.
Yeah,
So those
yeah.
two teams, if you look at it in that way, I think those two English teams could be um, like in the running to get Harry Kane if he used to leave Tottenham. But Tottenham don't want to sell. But like I
That's the
say,
problem now.
he's approaching the final 2 years of his contract, and
Hmm.
considering what they did to him when he wanted to move to Man City a season ago,
I
I
know,
think
right? Yeah. That.
I think he will not make the mistake of signing a new contract with them. So
Mm,
yeah, it's gonna be a very interesting summer with regards to
yeah,
Hurricane.
yeah,
So we will wait and
yeah.
see what happens there.
Because Daniel Levy said he's not gonna. He doesn't want to sell. So
Yeah,
right now, I think the best thing for Hurricane to do is just to wait for his contract to expire and just go and sign a pre-contract with another team.
yeah, of course.
Because like his
And
best chance, yeah,
mhm.
mhm,
I mean,
his
Levy
best
will not.
chance would have been to Man City. Like if he had gone to Man City, that would have been a big problem
Yeah,
because
definitely, definitely.
right now you see what they are facing with Haaland. Right, Haaland doesn't really join the team in terms of
Mhm.
pressing and dropping in and creating for the team.
Yeah,
Harry
yeah.
Kane would have fit that bill perfectly, to be
Yeah,
honest.
definitely.
Yeah.
Haaland is not a good link-up player, but of course, if
No,
you wanna criticize Haaland with the number of goals he scored, people will look at you crazy. But you don't look at football
it's
just
the system
in
of
yeah.
play.
You have
Yeah.
to look at like all the
Hmm.
other aspects. So I'm also in that camp where I think Harry Kane will have been a better signing
For Man City.
for Man City
Yeah.
than Haaland. Yeah,
Hmm.
definitely.
Okay. So that was the results recap. Let's jump into teams. Let's discuss what happened for us in game week 22, double game week.
Yeah, you can start with
Hey,
mine. We have
79. Yeah, you,
79.
you didn't do too badly, man. 79
Well,
was good. You played your triple captain, right?
yeah, I played triple captain,
Oh,
so
okay, okay, okay.
79 was not great. I am happy with my bench though. 2 points on the bench. That is, I don't think I will ever have a lesser, less points on my bench ever in FPL. So yeah, that was good. But yeah, Kepa, I think he's a popular option now these days. But still, he's less than 10% on surprisingly.
I'm surprised he's doing
Yeah,
so well and people don't own him.
yeah, yeah.
I,
And
yeah,
and then
it's weird. I
in
think
back, I
mhm,
have Wan Bissaka who missed the second game of the double. I was so disappointed. Trippier
I think he's injured. Yeah,
and Trent. Trent here, he's still giving me the 1 points, and I keep sticking with him. And I think I'm gonna stick with him a little bit longer, considering what is happening with Liverpool in terms of double game
yeah, the
weeks.
doubles.
And then you have Rashford and Fernandez. I went with Fernandez as my triple captain instead of Rashford. I was trying to, play that smart game there, trying to get something. But yeah, I don't have any regrets there. And then you have Martinelli, Odegaard, and Mares. They all gave me a grand total of 4 points. And up top, Ketia and Haaland also 4 points. So all my points came from the two Man United players and Kepa, literally.
Yeah, I feel like people triple captain and captain, but if you look at all the other players, it's just a few players that did well, like Thomas and some other players, just a few of them.
Yeah.
The rest is just Man U players because of the doubles and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, 79 all out. Hmm.
Mhm. I think it was a good time to play double game week, especially considering the season you have all the other chips. Like
Hmm.
for those managers who have all the other chips, you wanna play in the other double game weeks and things like that, preparing for the bench boost and stuff like that. So to get the triple captain of the way was nice. But of course, in the context of my
Yeah.
season, it does not make any difference to be honest. But yeah, yeah.
Okay.
Let's look at your team.
For me, yeah, I had 84 points. I captained Rashford. I think most people captain Rashford.
Yeah.
The funny thing is, I could have, but I did never thought about it for some reason. I think it's because it's a Man U player.
Hmm.
To be honest, I will not triple captain a Man U player.
But
That's just
actually,
me,
actually,
cynic in me.
I saw some Man United fans on Twitter. Like, I don't want to
Mhm.
share this. Like, I like their argument about the Rashford. Like, you never have the opportunity to captain the player you support when he's at this top
Yes.
form and with these good fixtures. So this was the perfect
Hmm.
opportunity if you are a Manchester United fan. Like, it's just
Hmm.
like last season when Salah has this double game week, he was flying. Everybody's gonna
Yeah,
captain,
yeah,
especially as a
yeah,
Liverpool
yeah.
fan. Even if he
Hmm.
does not perform, you are still happy because he's your player. You cannot be so
I
hard.
know, I know.
Yeah. So this is
Yeah,
why Manchester United fans, some of them said, okay, this is the opportunity. We will never have this
yeah.
opportunity again. We have to take it. But of course, you
Again,
think
that's true.
differently.
You know me and my players, right?
Yeah.
You know, you know how harsh. It's like it's not harsh per se, but you don't. It's like you don't trust them enough. Rashford has been on a tear, to be honest. Like he's the only one that I feel like if he's out of the team, will suffer because all the goals and creativity, or most of the time, comes from him. You
Yeah.
know, but I just wasn't thinking about it. It's not like, oh, let me. I had, to try to play or to see. Okay, maybe I might captain him, triple captain him, but I wasn't thinking about it. I was just trying to see how I can get two Man U players in my team, and the Bruno was what I was thinking about.
Yeah.
But yeah, we'll see. I think I trust Salah and yeah, Haaland to for triple captain.
Not Salah this season, definitely.
Not Salah this season per se, yeah, but it's like for me, triple captain is a player that you know for a fact that you cannot deny has been very consistent and that's
But
how I
Rashford has
think
been the
about
most
it.
consistent player in the league.
It's true. I don't know why I never thought about it. That's just the funny thing. It's just strange, man. I'm not used to being for Man U doing so well. Maybe that's an
Maybe that's
excuse
it.
for
Yeah,
me.
I feel you. I feel you.
Yeah. So 84 points. I have Botman, Trippier, Estupinian, and Shaw. So I think only Estupinian was the one that he's the one that gave me some points. So yeah, he's also been one of my players that for a fact has been doing well for me, like underlying.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'll take that. But Kepa, man, Kepa, it's like keepers for some reason in FPL, I just picked the right keepers at the right time. I don't know what it is, but Kepa is there again. I think I changed the keeper. Who did I have before? And I brought in Kepa. I forgot who I had before in the
Wasn't it
beginning
the
of the
double
season.
game week? Man City, Ederson. No.
I never had Ederson. No, no. I don't. I
Okay.
don't take expensive keepers at all. It's
Okay.
been a while. I don't even know the last time.
I cannot remember.
Yeah,
So with the
I can't
green
remember too.
arrow,
But yeah, I had a good arrow. Yeah. Rashford
what's your OR
captain,
now?
Fernandez 12. It's what? Let me see. It's at 212,000
Oh,
overall.
not bad.
It was in middle of the game. It was around one something, one seven something thousand. So I think you can say it
The
dropped down a bit
yeah,
because
the
of
triple captain as
the
you know.
triple captain. Yeah, yeah. If I had triple captain, I would have been in the 100 club. Obviously, I would have had 60, 20 more points, so maybe 104, something like that. But yeah, um, not too bad. I'll take it any time of the day. Um, so looking at our Kotu Classic Mini League, our manager of the week, I think we just mentioned this, is Andrew Henning. He was
Yeah,
one of the former winners, I think 2 seasons ago, or was it last
yeah, two
season? Can't
seasons
remember.
ago.
Yeah, with 117 points. He played
Wow,
the triple captain
that's massive.
on Rashford. He had Mitoma, who was the differential because a lot of the players here are the same with Kepa, Shaw,
Mhm.
White, Trippier, and then midfield Rashford, Odegaard, Fernandez, Mitoma. And then
Yeah,
he had Kane also up top, Nketiah, and then Haaland. So it's Kane and Mitoma that were the difference for him, an extra like 19 points. So
nice.
yeah, congrats. Andrew Henning is coming back now 17th. And the top five of the Kotu Classic Mini League. We have in fifth, we have Party at Epstein's, Thomas Bright, moving up
Oh,
to
Tom.
fifth.
Wow, I
Yeah,
know.
doing good.
He's
Moving up
flying.
to fourth is Munda Junior, and then dropping to third is Antuman Jiju. Moving to second is Man Naman, and first Mr. Fantasy FC Hamar Kof. So there's a lot of movement. So
Yeah,
three movements in the top five. So yeah, things are heating up. Um. Okay, moving to the second segment, our fan corner. We talk about our clubs. Like we said, Liverpool latest injury. seems like things are moving up for you guys now. I hope you guys turn a corner because it's a bit weird not to have Liverpool assets in our team. Like when I look at my team, and I don't see any Liverpool. I was like, man, this is so weird. And last season, there's no way you can go without Liverpool players. So I think I'm optimistic. That we'll get some players back, or you guys will go back. What do you think about it?
Uh, like Liverpool players, I think they will get people will
Mm,
get them back, obviously because of double game weeks that we will be discussing very soon. And but in the context of performance, in the context of form and things like that, it is very difficult to own Liverpool player right now because
yeah, it
like
is.
every aspect of their game is substandard. Defensively, they are poor. Attacking, they are not creating enough chances, and they are finishing poorly. They are not dominating games as they should be dominating games.
The
So
pressure, the high press is not there anymore. Like that's what
yeah,
I
yeah,
realized
it's
about it.
significantly dropped.
It's yeah,
I
and that is a major way of the way you guys play. Like honestly, that high press. I don't know what happened. I don't know. Maybe.
yeah,
What is
players
your
like
thing? What is your thoughts about it? Yeah.
yeah, in terms of the way they play, I think it's kind of suited for certain players in terms of pressing and stuff like that. Like because everything starts from the top, right? Last season we have
Yeah.
Firmino, who is one of the best attacking. Everybody used to call him a defensive striker. Now he is missing for a long
It's
period, extended
injured.
period.
Yeah.
People can see how we miss him. Jota is also one of our pressing monsters.
Yeah.
He has not been available throughout the season. So basically, in attack, it's only Salah who's left there in who really understands how we do these kind of things. So all
Hmm.
the other players who Salah keeps playing
I
with,
knew. Oh
they are
yeah.
new and
Yeah.
they
That's
are not
that's true.
they don't really understand the trade of pressing. And to be honest, it's like Klopp says, it's like a it is very beautiful when it is done perfectly. But if it is done
Hmm.
wrongly, it is very easy to see
You
holes. These
can.
holes were
Yeah.
there all the time.
Yeah.
But it's because of
Mhm.
like before you get there, they have already stopped you in a very like the top will stop you. If the top don't stop you, the defensive midfielders or the midfielders will also chip in and then stop you in the midfield. But right now there is no that cohesiveness, that chemistry is not there in this team.
Mm.
That is one factor. But also there's also another thing of players underperforming their own levels. Like players
Mm.
like Fabinho. I, I
Fabinho.
I
Yeah.
know people have been critical of him a lot, but it's been a bit harsh because he's never a player with a lot of yard to cover. It's always covering the pieces. Like somebody will do this job and then they
And
did
then
not do it, and then he come and do
yeah.
pick up the pieces. Those little things.
Hmm. Like
But
a
now he's left with a
free
huge
throwing
space
player
to defend, which
to
is not
cover, and he's not
his.
that type of like
It's not that type
yeah.
of player. Players like Henderson have dropped significantly. Thiago is not really that pressing monster that we want him to be. Of course, he's one of the midfielders who's doing well, to be honest. But he's not that player that club type of player, that Wijnaldum, that
Mm.
Henderson, that these players,
Yeah.
that Milner who press everything, and defensively too. Likewise, we are keep changing our defense every now and then. Van Dijk is out, Ibu Konate now is out, Matip is come in and out, and their form is not so good. So yeah, it's a lot of things, man. I think last time something like this happened, I think it was very easy for me to come here and tell you this is gonna change, right? It was very easy to
Yeah,
tell you
because
because I could see what was the problem very well. But this season there is a lot of problems, and which includes players losing their form and even the coach making some decisions that are questionable. So it's very
mm,
difficult this year for me to say anything. So I'm not so optimistic about our prospects this season. But yes, in terms of the coach, I think I trust him to be the one to change it again. But really, at this moment in time, I don't have an explanation how we're going to fix this for this particular season. So I don't expect us to finish in the top four, which is the minimum requirement we expected from Liverpool at the start of the season. So which is going to be a failure of a season, to be honest.
mm. It's like a lot has gone wrong with this team. That's the thing. It's like when once it started going wrong, it continued getting worse for your team and the players. So yeah, I hope it's nice to see your team do well, but I like to play Liverpool when they are at their best so that I can compete and say yes, my team is doing well. At least we have turned a corner. Remember when I said that when we beat you guys, is when I know that we have really arrived. But even when we beat you guys, I really didn't want to say that okay, we really beat a full-fledged, full-strength Liverpool team. because you guys were on the downward trend at the time. You know
Yeah,
what I
it
mean?
started that. Yeah.
So yeah, I couldn't really test my strength to see how well I've done. But even though we have done well, to be honest, not to be fair, our team has come a long
Yeah,
way.
you guys have
But I still need to
progress.
play like a proper Liverpool team to see how far I need to go. You know. So yeah, also you guys the assets are there, man. Like Louis, what's his name? That's the winger. Is
Diaz.
it Diaz? See, it's been so long that I forgot his name. Diaz and the Firminos and the
Yeah.
Jotas. It's going to be interesting to see what happens with Gakpo when all those players return too. So
Yeah,
it's going to be
definitely.
exciting.
Gakpo has been like taken from the frying pan to the fire. Can I say like that? Because yeah,
Yeah,
he came at a very long time, and then all of a
he
sudden
wasn't. Yeah, that's
there's a lot of pressure to make sure that he perform well,
hmm
because the team is
hmm
performing badly. So we have to turn on someone to come and change our season, and usually Liverpool signings will take time. Somebody like Firmino,
Yeah,
when he came to Liverpool,
that is true.
Fabinho,
hmm
sorry, when he came to Liverpool, he sat on the bench for 6 months. Everybody is asking, why is Fabinho not playing? Why is Fabinho not playing? Robertson, likewise, before he could break into the Liverpool team, it took him at least a full half season before he could break. So usually we give our new signings time to gel in.
hmm
Maybe Diaz.
hmm
Diaz, when he came in, he just gelled in,
He gets
So
fit.
there
He
was
just
no
fit
reason
right
to
in
there was
right
no
in.
reason for yelling
hmm
in for him. But some players they needed more time, and that is what Gakpo needs. And right now, people are writing him off. I see even people like Jamie Carragher. Why did Liverpool commit 45 million? But he's a good player. It's just that
He's a good
the
player.
situation he found in the team in. It's not easy for him to, perform to the
Mhm.
level that we expect from him.
Because the
So,
team
but
is not performing, so you're not expecting the loan to perform. Yeah.
yeah, definitely. But you speaking about the injuries too. Like I say, injury front wise, like you can see, Van Dijk, he's back. I don't expect him to play the derby game against Everton this weekend, but he's back, and which is a very good sign. The Champions League is coming back. Maybe we can focus on that competition if we have a very full,
So to
a
qualify,
full strength
yeah.
squad. Yeah, and Jota is back. He was back in training. Klopp said he is in contention for the squad in the next game against Everton, and Arthur. I think we never mentioned
Who
him.
the guy that never played, yeah.
He played 3 minutes or 5 minutes of Liverpool since he came joined Liverpool. He's back also from injury, and also who did I miss? There's another player who is back. Firmino. Firmino is back in training. So players are coming. 4 players are back. Ibu Konate. It
Mhm.
was just 2 weeks, so hopefully we will get him back. Like, because of course we know at this moment in time is Ibu Konate and Van Dijk who we wanna see in our back, and Firmino back. I think yeah. And Diaz too. I watched
Things are
an
looking up.
interview of him today. He said he will still be back soon. He's targeting the second leg of the Champions League against Real Madrid. So maybe
Mm.
very soon we could see a full strength Liverpool team, which could be okay for the Champions League. And yeah, in the Champions League, I will never write us off, no matter how bad we are.
Yeah,
I will
yeah,
never write
definitely.
off Liverpool. Yeah.
Mm. Okay, so jumping to my team, my main man Sancho, he was out for a while. Apparently, there were some personal issues going on there. He needed to take the time, and the coach handled it perfectly. I don't know what was going on. I don't think people realized what the issue was, but he was out of the team for a while. And you can
Yeah.
remember he was our main signing. We courted him for 2 years and then finally signed him. So I'm happy that he's back and he scored a very important goal against Leeds,
Yeah.
equalizer.
The
So
equalizer. Yeah.
yeah, and now we have Anthony and we have Sancho on the right, like two world class, in my opinion, uh, wingers. So it's like now we are fully stocked with wingers. Rashford is doing well. Garnacho is also coming. I won't talk about Elanga, but he needed to go out on loan. But yeah, still. So the wingers are fine. The only problem we have now is just that striking position because you cannot rely on Anthony. I mean, on
Marshall.
Marshall. Marshall he brings cohesiveness to that team. Like the
Mm.
team gels up front. But the problem is you can't rely on him because he's never fit.
He's never fit.
And you
Yeah.
cannot put up a charge with a striker who's always out. After one game, he's out again. He plays one game, he's out. You can't do that. So you need to get a top striker in the summer, somebody who's reliable, who's consistent, and yeah. I think the coach is just fed up with Marshall at this point. Everybody, even the fans, are fed up now.
Yeah.
So yeah. But the team is doing well. I think we have a very strong belief now. The only worry I have is we have so many games to play,
Mm-hmm.
like back to back every 3 games. It's like we
And
are playing since
mhm. And
a
injuries
month
are kicking
now.
in,
So
right?
oh man, it's scary, but it's good because the team is doing well. By now I wouldn't expect that we'll be where we are right now. I was worried that this period we have a lot of injuries and a lot of turnaround time, short turnaround time. So we're doing worse. But touch wood, let's see how it goes. I hope we kick on from here and then like just keep the pressure, keep winning and keep turning results in.
Yeah, but
So fingers
injuries are
crossed.
starting to kick in, like you say. And I think Anthony is injured, right? He's out.
He's injured, but yeah, but just perfect timing. Sancho is back.
Yeah,
Dallo is also back, and then Wan-Bissaka is injured. So you see what's going
yeah,
on. It's like
and
we are
and then
give and
in
take.
the midfield too, you lose Ericsson, who was very important, I think, to your season. You
That's
have not
that's for
mentioned
the
him.
end of the season.
Yeah, he's out,
That's true.
and
You
I
can see
think
the difference he makes in the team too. So
McTominay is out too,
McTominay is out. Yeah, McTominay is out.
because
So
especially in
you're
this
right. I think we have a
in,
few injuries.
especially in this state where you have to
Hmm.
use you don't have Casemiro
Full
for the next
squad.
3 games. I think McTominay is not the best player, of course, but
He
I think
gets the job done.
he could do a better
Yeah,
job than anyone in that position
defensively.
right
Yeah,
now
yeah,
defensively.
yeah.
So
Hmm.
you have and then you have a new player coming in Sabitzer. I think he was quite okay in the game. He took a few long shots here and there, and he almost scored in
Yeah.
that game. So yeah, and yeah,
He's
but
more. I
something.
think
Mm,
he's. Mhm. Go on.
yes, just wanted to mention about Garnacho because I see a lot of criticism about him
He's
in the
young.
media.
I will not criticize a player who's like 18, 19 years old. And
Yeah, I hate it
his
too.
performance, yeah, his performance
Was not
was
bad,
something that, no, what I mean is like at that age, if you give us something and we the fans start believing, you understand, and then you have a drop of form. Like I don't expect any, I'd expect to
He's
criticize
very
him
young,
because
yeah.
it's like, yeah, he's still learning the ropes. How
And
many 18 or 19-year-olds do you see starting for a team, a big team?
exactly. And
Not
you
many.
see, he was not as bad as they think, right? I know they will criticize him for he missed one chance, and actually he
Yeah,
had
I saw the chance. I saw the
the one
chance. Yeah.
he round the goalkeeper, and then a defender came, he round the defender, then he take the shot, but there was another defender who run into the post, who blocked
Mhm.
it was going in. So you cannot criticize him for that. He did everything right, just that somebody defended very well. And sometimes we
Mhm.
tend to forget about the other side of the game or the opponents. We just think focus on our players.
Mhm.
This is the problem we have with Darwin too. He had a big chance in this game. He did everything right. Trent created a wonderful chance. He made the proper run. He did the proper finish. But at the end of the day, the goalkeeper was very close to him and then made a very good save at the end of the day. So you have to credit the goalkeeper in that situation. It's
Mhm.
not about
Mhm.
Darwin's bad finishing. Of course, I know he's not great at finishing, but in that situation, it's not about him. It's
You
about
can't
the
fault him
goalkeeper
for that.
doing a good
Yeah.
job. In the same
Yeah.
situation, it wasn't about Garnacho missing the chance, but it's all about the defender reading everything and then blocking the shot. So those kind of things. Some people, the way they analyze football, that's why I find it hard to discuss football with some people sometimes, because
I
yeah.
think mhm.
Mm-hmm. Go ahead.
Some people are just they're just not how do I say it again? They're not reasonable.
Yeah, reasonable. Exactly. That's the perfect
Sometimes
word.
you're not reasonable. You need to be reasonable sometimes. I know we want to win the game. It's the game we should be winning, and then we came back and then we drew and then we should have scored one more goal to win the game, but
Yeah.
it just didn't happen, and that's fine. You understand? I think it's credit to Leeds. The new manager bounce because we were expecting. A lot of fans were saying it that, oh, they're gonna have a new manager bounce, and it's normal. When the manager leaves and then a caretaker manager is there and everybody wants to finally just step up and try to see if they can take that chance to be in the first 11. It's okay, but I feel like the next game this weekend against them is going to be a different game
Mm-hmm.
because we know what their strategy is. They start off really fast with the counter pressing, with the pressing really high up. And then I think it's going to be a different game, even though I would have loved to have Casemiro there to actually balance that midfield well. But things are going to be different. The coach is going to do something different because the starting 11 he had, I think he made a mistake with it.
Yeah,
You should
definitely.
have
I was gonna
like
point
changed a
that.
few things. Records shouldn't have started. I think you should have put Rashford up top and then have like Sancho on the right and then maybe somebody else on the left.
Yeah,
I don't,
actually,
I don't think
I
about
was
that now.
listening to the Athletic podcast or the Totally Football show. There was the Leeds correspondent there. He said, yeah, he was so happy when he saw
Yeah,
Weghorst
because
because he know
you know
like he's
movement
not gonna do much, right? So and then Rashford was stuck one of the best left wingers in the league this season because of cutting
and then on
inside,
the right
Bruno making
and
and
then
then you put him on the right, which also kind of limits the fullbacks their space because the fullbacks will not bomb forward to overlap because the two wingers were too wide at the end of the day. So there was too disjointed in the Manchester United attack. I think
Yeah.
it's a mistake from the good coach. And when he changed it in the second half, you can see the change.
You
The
can see the
visible
difference.
difference.
Yeah, the movement up top is like in the front, it disturbs them. Like, that's a team like Leeds. That's why we used to beat them before on the Ole
Ole,
Gunnar, because
Ole,
our pace. That's what we used to beat them, right? All the time.
yeah,
Anytime we meet them, we give them
yeah,
like
the
5 or 4. So I
diagonal
was never worried about. I was never worried about Leeds like that now.
definitely.
So I think the best thing to do, if I was him, what I would do is I'll put Bruno on the right, Sancho on the left, and Rashford up top, and then maybe Sabitzer. I'll put Sabitzer maybe as a 10 because he can play as a 10 in
Mm-hmm.
Bruno's position, right? Another thing is also in the midfield. That's where the problem is. You can take a risk. You can put Martinez or you can put Lindelof in midfield because at one of the past few games he put in the second half he brought Lindelof and put him
Yeah,
as a as
actually,
a,
in
as a
that game,
midfielder.
Lindelof came second half into the middle.
Yeah, he can play midfield because he's played there before. So
Yeah.
yeah. So enough about our teams. This is the fan corner. We always ramble on about our teams. So let's jump straight into double game week 23 preview.
Yeah, the fixtures.
Yes, the
So,
fixtures.
should we start? Should
Let
we
me.
start with the long view or the fixtures is
I
okay?
think let's start with a long view and then come to the fixtures. So
Yeah,
let's just have Ben Crellin's tweet that I
yeah.
stole of his. This is the if you don't know Ben Crellin, I think you guys should follow him. I think by now almost everybody playing FPL knows that this guy is the guy that you have to go to when it comes to scheduling and all these double game weeks and stuff. So he tweeted this yesterday, um, saying that the schedule for the blank and double game weeks. Double game week 23, two teams double. We all know this is
Yeah,
Arsenal and Man City for this game
yeah,
week. And double game week 25 and blank game week 25. So four teams double and four teams blank. We already know, I think, Man U, Brighton,
yeah.
um, which other
Yeah, I
team
will show
again?
that chart later. Just
Yeah, you will
hold
show
on.
that chart later. Yeah, all these four teams blank, and most defenders come from that team. So you have to start planning from now or even before now
Yeah,
to get if you want to get 11 players for 25. And I think two fixtures were just announced that we're going to double. Arsenal is one of them, and I think I forgot the other team. They were
yeah,
also doubling in 25. And blank game week 28. It's probably about 10 teams blank. This is a big one.
yeah. So you
So
have to plan for that.
double, you have to plan for that as well. Double gaming 29, 10 plus teams double. So this is very interesting. Blank gaming 32, 4 to 8 teams blank. Double gaming 34, 8 teams double. 8 plus
Yeah,
teams double. And then double gaming 30, 37, 6 teams double. And then lastly, one or two mini double game mix in 20, gaming 26, 27, 30, 31, 35, and 36. So it's going to
that's a
be a
good
very
summary. Yeah,
intense fixture. Yeah.
that's a great summary from Ben, the goat. He's
From
the goat of FPL.
Ben the GOAT, of course.
And he's not just good about the scheduling stuff, but he's a very good FPL manager too. He's always
Very
regularly
good.
in the
He's
top
doing very
10K.
well
So
this season. Yeah,
yeah,
very good. Obviously, if you have a scheduling down to a science, obviously you're not going to do well. You're definitely going to do well in FPL. Okay, let's look at the schedule for this game week.
yeah. This is the double game weeks. The teams like you said, the double game week 23. That those ones are obvious. Arsenal, they play Brentford and Man City, and Man City themselves they play Aston Villa and Arsenal. Arsenal with the two home fixtures. And then in game week 24, there is nothing much there. It's gonna be single game weeks. And then game week 25, there's gonna be four teams doubling. That is Arsenal again. So Arsenal will double in 23 and
Mhm.
25, where they play Leicester and Everton, which is a good fixture. Everton they play Arsenal and Aston Villa. And Liverpool
Mhm.
also double, which is making Liverpool players a bit enticing again. Crystal Palace and
Enticing, yeah.
Wolves. And Wolves themselves, they double against Liverpool and Fulham. But of course, after Wolves beating Liverpool 3-0, I think they will be confident going into that game. But speaking of the
Definitely.
immediate one, which is double game week 23, Arsenal and Manchester City. Um, I think Haaland is a obvious pick when you talk about Manchester City. And
Mm-hmm.
then after that, we don't know who's going, which players you're going to target. And
Because
yeah, let's start with Man City.
go on.
Then after we discuss Arsenal, what do you think?
Man City, man, like they're going through it, right? They're not doing too well, honestly. Like it's like a different Man City. The pressing and the mistakes, that's happening, and teams are realizing that this is not Man City of last season. We can actually attack them and make them make mistakes and then score. And Cancelo has left. The players are complaining, they're being in and out of the team. And I think I've heard about this on Athletic, the podcast.
Mm-hmm.
Pep is trying to create this atmosphere where everybody is content, which is not so if you're fit and you're not in the team because you are
Mm-hmm.
complaining. you wouldn't be happy. Like you have Laporta and you have Diaz,
Bernardo Silva, all these
and
players.
Benazima plays actually, but it's mostly the defenders,
Yeah,
and the two best defenders in your team are on the bench not playing, and they are fit. It's not that they're injured, you know.
yeah.
So
Kyle
what's
Walker
going
too is
on?
not
You're
happy.
using
Yeah, not just this.
Kyle Walker is not happy. You're using Luis, and a lot of things going wrong with the team. Also up top, Haaland is scoring goals, but when games get difficult and they shut
Yeah,
him
he
out,
choke, right?
there's no alternative. Like nothing happens. I think against Tottenham, I don't think he had any shot on target. They said
Yeah, that was the first
for the
time
whole
that
game.
happened since 2018. I had. He never not
Yeah,
shot on
so
target, no shot. Don't say shot on target.
wow, it's crazy. So like you can't even expect a team as stocked as Man City are having problems creating chances. Grealish, for me
And
personally, I believe that since he
mhm,
came, that he wasn't supposed to go to Man City. It doesn't
yeah,
suit
100
their style of
million.
play.
He has not justified the price. And then you keep Kevin De Bruyne on the bench. So who are we going
The
with?
bench.
Who are we going with after Haaland?
Nobody knows. Nobody knows. Right now, if you have Man City assets, keep them. But I don't think you should buy if it's not Haaland, or if you have Haaland, keep, obviously. He's going to score. But then I have KDB, and I was worried when I saw him on the bench. I was like, come on, Pep. Like, man. You know? Ah. So
It's crazy. And not
it's
just
crazy.
on the pitch, off the pitch too, they are in a very big mess because of they have been charged with like crazy
Oh,
amount of
yeah, that's the
things.
big news. I
You
forgot.
know, that's a big news.
I forgot
Yeah,
about that. That's the biggest news. Like I think this week actually is the biggest news because
yeah.
what happened? Can you explain? Just explain
Well,
what's
I'm
going
not
on. The
into the
summary.
financing things too much, but I can briefly explain. Yeah, like between 2009 when they were established to 2018, um because the Spiegel, I don't know, the Spiegel, that German newspaper, they publish
Mhm.
somebody, a hacker, kind of hack these big teams. So what they did when they hacked them, they saw some irregularities in these big teams in their emails and stuff like that. And then that was when UEFA investigated Manchester City. And then UEFA investigation was only limited to 5 years because of that is their rule. They cannot look past 5 years. So when they look at that
Mm.
investigation, they came out that Manchester City were guilty of some things. They charged them, and then they were supposed to ban them for 2 years. But Man City appealed to the Court of Arbitration, that is CAS, and then CAS overturned it. So Manchester City were charged just 10 million at the end of the day. And then after that, the Premier League, okay, now one of our own products is misbehaving or is doing something bad,
Mm.
like allegedly. So we have to do an investigation on that. So, and the Premier League, their scope is different from UEFA. They can investigate you as far as they want. There is no limit of 5 years,
Mm.
and also the any team that they are investigating or they charge or something like this, they cannot go to CAS. So it's always gonna be within the Premier League. So there is no leaning back from Manchester City where they will say, okay, you guys, your judgment is not fair. We go there. So the Premier League charge, but
Mm.
they have their own internal panel that will do the investigation and so that will do the judgment. I would say, but yeah, they charge them over 100 counts of financial like financial, like, how can I say it, like foul plays. So some of them are related to how they were extra, like exaggerating the amount of money they are paying. Like if they for
Yeah,
example, they were paying they are what is it, their
the
former
coach.
coach, the coach, yeah, they
Yeah,
were paying him
Mancini.
Mancini, they were paying him a lot of money, a lot more money than they wrote in the papers, because they use their
Mm.
other companies to do these kind of things. This is what they are alleged to have done. And also,
Cooking the books also.
yeah,
Cooking
cooking
the
the
book,
books
saying that
exactly.
I think that was the one that prompted the whole thing. That they said that this year or last year they made more profit than all the clubs in the world, Real Madrid and
No,
Barcelona.
the thing is, it happened like up till 2018, and then they cooked it that time, and then now everything will be okay now, right? Because that is when they did it, and nobody find it. So now they are making money because now they become that elite club where they are in the Champions League
Yeah.
regularly. They are making money.
Hmm.
They are selling players and stuff like that. They are a bigger brand compared to what they were
Hmm.
back then.
Before,
So they
yeah.
had to use a lot of money to, like, how can they say, the upfront pay or the upfront cost was very huge. Like at that point in time, I'm not so good with these financial things, but yeah, let's see how it goes. It's just at this point, it is just alleged, so there is nothing proven. Until proven guilty, they are not guilty. So we will wait and see how that goes, but it will take time.
Okay, one final thing is that they were saying that punishment might be at worst relegation from the Premier League, and also the I don't know how what's the word to use, take back their titles that they have won in the past
Yeah,
few years and then give it to the second
yeah.
runner up in that year.
So
So
there is a lot of possible punishments because the Premier League they don't stipulate this is the type of punishment a team will get when they do this. So it's open. The Premier League has
it's
an
open. Okay.
open book. So they can decide to do
Mm.
anything. They can charge them a lot of money, but Man City, you charge them money. What does that do to them? It does
It
not
doesn't
affect
do
them at
anything
the
to
end of the
them.
day,
Yeah, it
right?
doesn't affect
You
them.
can deduct them points,
Oil money.
maybe,
Oil
or
money.
you can. But also, if you want to take all the way the trophies back to, for me, I
It
don't like
doesn't
that
make
idea.
much difference. Yeah,
I
I
don't
don't
like
think
that
it.
idea.
So
But
they've won it.
if
They've won
if
it.
they are
That's
guilty,
fine.
to be honest, I don't. I'm happy if they relegate them. If they are guilty, what they did,
I think they should set. I think
yeah,
they should set a precedent. So
yeah,
if they do this
definitely,
to a team like Man City, and
yeah.
it happens that they get a really big punishment from this, nobody else
Because
will
it
do it.
affects all the teams. Imagine how many teams
Hmm.
in the past. Yeah, but
Yeah.
it's crazy. But
Yep.
let's go back to FPL stuff.
Yeah.
You said Haaland. After Haaland, of
Hmm.
course, KDB would have been the ideal choice, but because of what we saw in the last game, but I expect KDB to start the next two games. To
It's
be
gonna
honest,
start. It's gonna start. Yeah, I think it's gonna start.
yeah,
I heard something about them benching him, Pep benching KDB if the team that they are playing has three at the back,
yeah.
something
Somebody
weird
said
like
that.
that,
Yeah,
some
yeah. They
tactic.
said those kind of
Yeah,
things.
so he's always benched when it comes to that. But he doesn't make any. It doesn't make any difference. Like when he came on in the game, he was the one that actually changed the game. They were attacking more when he came on. So
Yeah, definitely. He
I
should.
think
I,
I
mhm.
think Mahrez also is also another one to look at. But Pep wasn't happy with him after the Tottenham game.
Yeah,
So some people are
and that
speculating that he might be benched
that's
going
where I
forward.
was gonna go. That's where I was gonna go. I have Mares right now, but I see people scrambling
Ooh,
to have Mares. I'm sure if
to
I
get
didn't
him,
have him, I would not be scrambling.
yeah,
I'm not so
yeah,
comfortable owning him,
definitely.
but yeah, that it is
Hmm.
what it is. I hope he
Just
plays
keep. I
the two
think keep
games.
and yeah, keep and see what happens.
Who else
Yeah, I was
in
gonna
defense? Who
go.
will you go with? That is the trick
I was
one.
gonna go with Rico Lewis, But looking at the whole thing, it's good to have him, even though he might play. But the problem is like nobody knows.
Yeah,
That defense line is so open. The Akanjis, the Akes, the Rico Lewis, they're conceding goals. Not that they're keeping clean sheets. Anyway, so if you get one, what's the point? It's not that they're going to give you an extra attacking return or anything like that because
yeah,
they concede anyway. So
yeah. I
I
like
thought
Lewis
about it
too.
and then
I like
I
Lewis too.
decided
The,
he's
the
cheap.
reason I
He's
like him,
cheap.
yeah, it's cheap. Like, if he plays, then you are happy. If he does not play, then he's just
Yeah,
3.9
it's
million at the end
fine.
of the day.
It is,
Yeah,
yeah, it's
yeah,
okay.
because he will tell you Ake is doing very well, and then he will bench him the next game. Akanji is the only one who looks safe because he has been playing since he came in. I think he only missed
Hmm.
one game, and even in that game, he came on in the second half to play. But other than that, he started
Hmm.
every single league game since he came. He joined them. But don't be surprised, he will be
Okay.
missing one of the two double games. The goalkeeper is the other thing. But Man City are not keeping clean sheets. So
They're
why
not
would I
keeping clean sheets.
why
Why would
would
you
I
go
want to
there?
own
Expensive
a
too.
Man City
Yep.
when you have Kepa and stuff like that? Yeah, yeah. Speaking of Arsenal, let's go to Arsenal. We have rambled a lot about Man City. I think that's an easy one, right? Arsenal.
Hmm. Arsenal is easy. I think you just use the top three assets. They're actually four in my opinion. I think the first is Nketiah.
Uh-huh.
Nketiah is like one of his stats are looking the best out of the all the Arsenal players right now. Next is Odegaard and then Saka, and then you can go to their defense, maybe Gabriel. I believe those in that order
Yeah,
are like
Saliba,
the
yeah.
best to own. Yeah. Or Saliba also is also good. Ben White, people that have Ben White are
Yeah.
getting worried
I doubt
now.
I don't like Ben White anymore because of like
Martinelli, people are getting worried
Martinelli
too
too is
that,
not it's not
mm,
Martinelli too, even though he's my favorite Arsenal player. He has not scored in the last four games. Trossard has come, so there is a bit of competition for him. So maybe he might not start both games and stuff like that. So I think Saka for me. Saka will be the number one pick in Arsenal. If I have a blank canvas, Saka will be the number one pick, and then I will go with Ketia and Odegaard. Those three. Currently, I have Martinelli instead of Saka. I see people doing the sideways move, but I'm not so much interested in that. I would rather just
the
keep
sideways
Martinelli.
the sideways move if you can afford it. Right now, I have Martinelli, but I don't have I can't afford to change him. I have other more important things like bringing actual Arsenal assets than actually moving sideways. If you can, then that's fine. But I think he starts. Maybe his minutes are a bit limited now that Trossard is in the team, and I don't think Martinelli has been doing very well this past few game weeks. So that's the only problem now.
Yeah, I agree. I agree.
Yep. Um. So which other team should we look now that
Let's
has a
just look
double?
at
I
now
think it's
the
just those
overall fixtures in a nutshell.
overall
Any
fixtures.
other teams that to target in this particular game week?
N-
Um,
Not really. I think
Chelsea
it's just the
play.
double. Right now, we are following the fixtures, the double game because those are the ones that you should be getting in your team because build up on your points right now. But looking at the fixtures, we have West Ham, Chelsea,
Yes.
Arsenal, Brentford, Crystal Palace, Brighton, Fulham, Nottingham Forest, Leicester, Spurs, Southampton, Wolves, Bournemouth, Newcastle, Leeds, Man United, Part Two. You have Man City, Aston Villa, Liverpool, Everton, and then Arsenal, Man City. So some tough games there. But also good games in terms of football.
Yeah, yeah,
So
yeah.
yeah, I think
The derby, Liverpool.
um it's going to be
Merseyside
interesting because now Liverpool are struggling now.
and
So
Tottenham
Everton
Everton are,
seem to be on the way
they
up.
have just got a big boost with their win against Arsenal, which was massive for them. So yeah,
Yeah, that's the fixtures. So let's move finally to I didn't forget to discuss our team selection,
yeah, our team selections.
transfers.
Yeah, I've not
Yeah,
done anything yet. I have one free transfer.
same with
Cancelo.
me.
I still have Cancelo, which is
You still
interesting.
have Cancelo.
Yeah, because I couldn't sell him last week. I could have sell him last week, but I could bench him. I could afford to bench him because I had the team that I
Mm,
wanted. So I
okay.
just kept him on my bench, and I was glad to see that since he left, they lock his price, so he cannot go up, he cannot go down. So I
Oh,
can
that's good.
also,
That's good.
I have
I
some
was
wiggle
worried
room.
about that.
I have some
These things
wiggle room.
I don't quite understand. So as soon as I saw
Actually,
that it
they
was
keep
me,
changing it.
I
Usually,
transferred him out.
it usually when a player leaves, their price is still get affected before, but now it does not. So which was very nice.
That's
A
good.
pleasant
That's good.
surprise
Yeah,
for
that's
me
good.
to find out.
That's really good.
So that's why I
Yeah.
just kept him. So in his place is gonna be a Man City defender. That is what I'm thinking.
Mm-hmm.
It could be Rico Lewis. It could be anyone else. So that decision I will
I'm
make
trying
late.
to.
But other than
Mm-hmm.
that, I'm not gonna make any transfer. I will bring I will have Kepa in goal against West Ham. Then Trent, Trippier, and that Man City player who's supposed to come. Then you have in midfield Rashford, Fernandez, Martinelli, Odegaard, and Mares, and then up top Haaland and Ketia. Haaland, my captain. That's my team. Any comment?
It's like the midfield I would like to have, to be honest. Yeah,
Except
I
Martinelli,
want
yeah.
to bring in except Martinelli, but I would also have him. So if I could, I would change him to Saka,
Yeah,
and then
definitely.
get the two or three best Arsenal assets for this double game. Nketiah is a very good asset to own. Initially, when we come to my team, I will talk about Nketiah, but yeah, I think it's a good team to have going into this double three Man City, three Arsenal players. So you are perfectly set up for this week, to be honest.
Yeah,
Yeah.
nice. Let's look at your team.
My team, I have a bit of movement to make, man, because I'm looking at 25 and I have four of all these four players that I have back there are not going to play in 25. So I need
Yeah,
to start doing something as soon as possible, which is, what I'm looking at right now. Right now, I have Kepa, I have Trippier, I have Estupinian, I have Shaw, and I have, what's his name again? Uh,
Bodman.
Bodman, sorry. Bodman. And then in midfield, I have De Bruyne, Martinelli, Rashford, Fernandez. Up top, I have Haaland and then Mitrovic. I only have one Arsenal player, and this is a double, and I have two Man City. So for me, what I would have loved to do is to bring in originally I was supposed to bring in like Lewis or Ake for let's say Patterson. You know, something I have three Man City, and then maybe bring in Odegaard for Fernandez.
Yeah,
But this week,
I wouldn't sell Patterson too, though, because Everton are gonna double in 25, and Patterson has just resumed training, so that is a pleasant one to have.
ooh,
So I would just keep him there,
nice.
and I'm sure when he's back, he's gonna take back that spot. He's been one of their best players this season. Injury has been his Achilles heel.
Did not know that.
With
Hmm.
Dicey, the way he defends it, he defends. You expect Everton to keep a few clean sheets, so I would keep Patterson.
Nice. So that means Shaw is the one that's going to go this week. Yeah, I really wanted to have, Rico Lewis to, free up some funds. At least I have three players. So
Yeah, but
Fernandez
I
is
don't
the
think
is
it's
the
that necessary to
to get
if
Lewis.
it is for funds, I understand. But if you don't need to, I don't think Man City getting three Man City players, because the defense, you don't know, like, if Lewis is
Yeah.
gonna play two
That,
games.
that that's the problem. That's the
Yeah,
thing. I think maybe I just prioritize and just bring in Odegaard. But I don't want Fernandez to leave. That's my headache right now. I don't want Fernandez to leave until maybe before 25. But then I also want to get two like Saka and Odegaard or something like that in my midfield. So
But
it's a tricky one for me.
but you also have Havertz in your team. Are you happy to own him still?
But Havertz plays in 25. He was supposed to go for Nketiah this week. But the
But
problem
Nketiah
is
get
now
a double here and a double in 25. So you have two doubles in Nketiah, and then you have Havertz just for 25, whilst you bench him this week. You know.
so okay, let's say
How
my
many
best
transfers
bet
do you
is
have?
bringing
How many frees?
I have just one. I have only one. I have to take a minus.
Yeah.
And that's fine. What about I do this? I bring in Odegaard for Martinelli, which is a sideways move, and then bring in Nketiah for Havertz. Would that make sense?
It makes sense, but for me, I'm not the fan of the. I think Martinelli is still
It's still a good pick, man. I
a
don't know
good
why
pick.
everybody is saying the same thing,
The
you know?
problem is people are afraid of Trossard getting one start. Martinelli will play both
Out of the
games. I can tell you he will play both games.
mm,
I cannot say he will start both games, but I'm sure he will play both games. Especially the Manchester
okay.
City game, I think I would rather start him than Trossard, because that is one of the most important games in their season. So Trossard, if he's gonna start, I will suspect he starts the Brentford game, and then Martinelli starts the Man City game. But I would not be surprised if Martinelli starts both games. Why? Why should Martinelli not start both games? Maybe he will get sub early. I am not so worried about that, to be honest. And yeah, it just take one goal from Martinelli, and then everybody is saying, "Okay, it's Martinelli again." You know,
It's back.
at the end of the day. So
Yeah, that's
I
true.
don't like the sideways move, to be honest. I would rather bring in somebody else and than do the sideways move, to be honest, with Martinelli.
Yeah, I think I was thinking initially I was thinking Martinelli. I mean Nketiah. So Nketiah is gonna come in definitely, and then maybe Shaw becomes Zinchenko or Gabriel, because that was what I was going anyways. The problem is now the midfield. That would if I have the chance, I'll change it later to maybe Martinelli to Odegaard, maybe in 24, something like a luxury move to make.
Definitely,
Yeah,
definitely. And
yeah.
another
So
thing, you
that's
see,
that's.
like that
Mhm,
Martinelli Odegaard move, I would just want to point something, right? If you take minus
mhm.
4 to bring my any let's treat
Yeah,
any
I'm not
transfer
taking.
as a minus 4, right?
Mhm.
Like you would expect Odegaard to come and outscore Martinelli plus 4.
And yeah.
And then he has to cover that hit. Of course, you have him for the other double game week in 25. But by then, maybe you have another transfer. You can do that transfer.
Hmm.
And who knows? If
Yeah,
Martinelli gets a
not
goal,
for a hit. Not for a hit. Yeah,
yeah,
not for a hit though.
if Martinelli gets a
Honestly,
goal in now against that game week, then he becomes
it's
essential again.
minus.
This is how FPL is. So sometimes, like,
Uh,
of course, I'm not the best advisor this season, but
not sideways move. Honestly, I think sideways move in a team doesn't make sense to anybody. To be honest.
yeah, especially for a player who has been starting every single game. He's just lost a bit of form, not scored goals, but he's there. Ne? The last game, I think if Arteta should have benched him, he should have benched him in the last game against Everton, because Everton will sit back. He know what Dice will do. He will sit back. So Martinelli needs space to run behind, and Everton will not give him that
Mm.
space. So that made more sense to do that than in the subsequent two games. But yeah, it is what it is.
Yeah, I have some thinking to do, man. But yeah, thanks for the Patterson heads up. I was thinking he's gonna go out because it's flagged all this while. So cool. Anything else you forgot to mention before we
Uh,
close?
uh, just Hannah, maybe apologize to anybody who used to listen to us,
To
because
all our listeners,
we
yeah,
have not been as consistent as we should be.
mm,
But yeah, we will be here.
we would
We'll be recording.
definitely do our
Uh,
best, yeah,
yeah,
to
we do our
record
best to record. But yeah,
every
we
week.
cannot promise to be every week, but we will be. We will be here.
Yeah. All right, listeners, thank you guys for always supporting the pod. We promise to be more consistent in the next few game weeks. Things are going on and scheduling has been an issue for us. But yeah, we are getting back to our usual self. We hope, fingers crossed. Thank you for always supporting the pod, as always. And we are the Kotu Classic FPL
I'm
podcast.
so
And
sleepy,
catch you
man.
guys on the next one. Yeah, it's late over there, right? I know it's
Yeah,
like
it is
almost like
late.
what,
Yeah,
2 a.m.
guys,
or
catch you
so.
guys on
So
the next one, man.
all right, thanks guys. Bye
Bye
bye.
bye.